He walked me up here like I was like, yeah, he's like, you know where the elevators are?
And meanwhile, I'm like ignoring everybody. They're like, "You're supposed to be yes."
Yes. I know where you're going.
I only talked to him because we used to have to get coffee down there, and I just wanted coffee. So like, it used to not be up here, you know, you get it down there.
Yeah.
So.
I think we get lucky when it's in the room now, or has that changed? I'm revealing how bad my attention.
No. The coffee is relatively a new area.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, it keeps everybody up here instead of down there waiting for coffee. If you're like 2 minutes late, it's like you're all the way down there.
Exactly.
It works out.
Okay, now how do we sign up to be a speaker since I'm finally talked into doing this?
I will send you the link. There's a link to fill out an application.
Okay.
So we can send that to you.
Okay. I need to make sure I do what y'all want me to do too,
No,
instead of just gratuitous
The only
solicitation.
thing that we want you to do is answer what is as voting we do for you. That's the only guideline that we have.
Okay,
So
cool.
it's all on you. You're good. That's
I'm a
exciting.
nonprofit. And, yeah, so, I would like to get the minutes.
Oh, perfect. Okay.
I've got a nonprofit too.
Yeah. Good morning, everybody. We'll go ahead and get started.
One of them.
Jason is not here this morning,
Like
so.
having fun serving people.
Good morning. Come on in.
We should be allowed to.
Good morning, Facebook Live.
Hey.
All right, good morning, guys. We'll go ahead and get started. I know people are probably going to be trickling in a little bit late this morning since we are in a new room. So we'll just let them kind of come in as they do, because it's already 9:08, so I want to make sure Michaela has as much time as possible to do her presentation. Couple of announcements, or the main announcement is this is the last time we are going to be at Rome for 1 Million Cups. So starting next week, we will be at Line Creek Bus Barn. So make sure you don't come here next Wednesday. We'll post it on our social and make sure you guys get the emails reminding you, but we will not be here starting next week. Just want to give a shout out to a couple of our sponsors, Rome, for having us this entire time. Thank you so much, Rome. We're so grateful for these awesome rooms that we've been given. Cody Media for providing the coffee. He will continue to provide that for us so we stay caffeinated. Hero Donuts for providing the donuts. We will still have Hero Donuts at Line Creek Bus Barn. Garrett will just have to pick them up on his way. And then, of course, Jason Hunter Design for helping promote and organize this event, mainly Casey. So with that being said, we'll go ahead and get started and let Michaela from Spotted Moose Designs present her business.
Hello, good morning. My name is Michaela. I am the owner of Spotted Moose Designs. A little bit about myself. I am a 22-year-old mom of 2. I have an almost 3-year-old named Micah and an almost 1-year-old named Maggie. They were both born in October, so that's fun. I was born in Missouri. I lived there for most of my life, and then I moved to Michigan for my high school. And right before I graduated high school, I actually moved down here to Georgia. I followed my aunt and uncle down. I've always been a huge advocate for pet rescues. I've worked with a couple during my high school time up in Michigan, and I actually adopted my dog Moose, which we'll learn a little bit more about later, from a rescue that I worked with. I've always been a very artistic person. I have done pottery, I've done painting, I have always been into writing and just all kinds of art, and most recently it's been digital art. These are my kiddos, Maggie and Micah, and it all started with Moose. My whole business. Moose was my first baby. I adopted him from a rescue I worked at in Michigan in 2017, and he kind of just followed me everywhere. He became a huge part of my life, and when Micah was born in 2020, he and Moose became instant best friends. I founded Spotted Moose Designs in February of 2020 in lieu of my son being born in October as a way to bring in a little bit of extra money, because babies are expensive. expensive. I didn't get serious about marketing or building clientele or really getting myself out there. I was kind of just bringing in 1 or 2 orders a month, if that. And I started actually with angel portraits and memorial portraits for families. I started with one from my mom. She lost her, my eldest brother, not long after he was born, so I created a portrait of us all together for her, and that kind of just spiraled into doing it for other people. Family would ask, and then I'd be like, okay, yeah, you know. And then I started drawing pictures of Moose, because he's always been my muse. And that really made me realize just how much I loved drawing pets more than people. And they actually ended up being my best seller. Not very many people order the family portraits anymore, but early in 2020, I opened an Etsy shop, but there are so many fees and microtransactions I didn't know about that it didn't really become worth it in the end. So I shut it down and started just marketing on Facebook small business groups, which there are only a certain handful that don't just have a bunch of scammers. I also began offering silhouette drawings and line art as well as full color at that time, and a couple people actually got tattoos of my art. And around the same time I started my business, I began a stained glass class with my husband. He used to do it with his grandfather who passed away. And so I realized that I found that I really loved the final look of stained glass, but it takes months and months to make, especially if you're not experienced. And so I searched the webs and found these brushes that mimic stained glass. And so I started making stained glass portraits, which I thought was going to do amazing, and wasn't very much hype behind that, but hopefully in the future. I also, as my business continued to grow, I found that I really enjoyed doing graphic design for people. It started with just a few small businesses needing a new logo, and I'd give it out for free just for practice. And then I started getting into fully hand-drawn logos, which took a lot more time. And it quickly grew to be entire business branding packages with logos, business cards, watermarks, branding for social media, and letterhead and stuff like that. So in addition to marketing myself in a few Facebook groups, I also reached out to different rescues because I wanted to offer my services for fundraisers and stuff like that. The very first rescue that I worked with was a rescue in New York called Muddy Paws Rescue. I donated 25 portraits. All of them sold out in the first day, and I was busy for a while. And I'm currently actually working with another rescue based in New York called Rock and Rescue. I think I've got like 8 more portraits to do for them, and then their fundraiser will be over. But I'm always looking for more opportunities for collaboration for fundraisers and stuff like that. I also give discounts for like set discounts all year round, because there are always certain things that are a big part of my life. I give a 20% discount for veterans because most of my family is military, and I feel that it's something that is deserved. If you have a rescue pet, be it a bearded dragon or a dog or a cat or a horse or whatever, you get 15% off. And just because I love him so much, I give 5% off if your dog looks like my dog. I am looking to expand my business and make it into more of a full-time operation so that I can continue to stay with my children. I've been with them every single day, every single minute since they were born, thanks to my mother-in-law and her school. But I would like to be home and do that. So I would like to be able to take Spotted Moose Designs and have enough backlog of portraits or branding orders that I'm able to just work from home with my children in their comfortable setting and move away from working at the school.
Awesome. Great job. Our first question as 1 Million Cups community is, what can we as a community do for you? I know you mentioned that we can help you, but what specific ways can the people in this room help you?
Well, I would love any advice on places to market myself, because Facebook is kind of a dead end now. Any like vets offices or shelters or anything like that I could leave business cards at, if anybody knows about, because I've only been here for a couple of years. I don't really know anything about the area, and just in general help with getting my name out.
Nice. Awesome. Are you currently doing like, what is it called? Night market or things like that, like events?
Yeah, so I did
Either or.
one, I can't remember what it's called now, in Williamson a couple months ago, and it did not go well. But it was also an airplane themed event, and I don't think anybody was interested in pet portraits. But I have another one in Fayetteville at the end of September that's all dog related.
Oh, nice.
So hopefully that goes well. And then if that goes well, I have another one in October in Griffin.
Nice.
So I've been trying to get into the actual marketplace, but I started the first market I didn't have anything physical that people could buy, so they just took my business card and kind of walked off. But now I have pre-made portraits of like German Shepherds, Bernese Mountain Dogs, Tabby Cats, stuff like that people can buy framed already. And I also have little like dog merch, that's what I call it, like matching bandanas for a baby and a dog, and cups and stuff like that. So.
Awesome.
You say you were looking for veterans. Have you talked to Eden Project? Brent Briggs owns it. It's like a big organization in Fayetteville that helps vets, I guess after they get back from service, to find help with different things, but he owns it. A guy named Brent Briggs might be a good person to talk to for vets.
Yeah, I'll definitely look into that.
And as far as, I missed the first half of the presentation, but do you also do a website to where you offer your services, to like where people maybe in Colorado can find you and say they want a picture of their dog and send it to you?
I currently just have a Facebook page, like Instagram, Facebook. I have a card site, which is kind of like a link tree, but it's I send it to people and they then click. It's not, they can search it and then it comes up. But I've been working on trying to figure out how to get the website down.
What kind of content do you post on Instagram or Facebook?
Well, I do. I'm scheduled out to, I don't even know when, of portraits that I've pulled off of like Google. But I post interactive like questions, question and answer, and then just pictures of my work. And then I have a TikTok that I post speed drawings of the entire portrait process.
Awesome.
So yeah.
Awesome.
Did you say you work with Etsy?
I started on Etsy, but I found that I was spending more in fees with uploading listings and renewing listings than I was making on Etsy. Most of my sales came from Facebook groups, so I just closed my Etsy down because it's so oversaturated right now with people doing the same thing or similar things that it just got to be too much money going out and not enough coming in from there.
Have you looked into licensing and copyrighting your art so that if it gets copied and used for something else, you can get royalties from that?
I thought about that. I think my mother-in-law mentioned doing, what are they called, NFCs or something like that.
NFT?
Yeah.
Yeah,
But,
I mean, those are great, but like just having like digital ownership of like your designs.
Yeah.
Like, because that could be an avenue for you down the road, is if you just sell the license and then someone else prints it, and then all of the burden of manufacturing is off of you, just your art, you know, and that's just a revenue stream you can go to. But if you don't do that, somebody can take your stuff and make money anyways.
Yeah. I hadn't even thought about that.
Kind of to piggyback off what he said, have you thought about doing like Shutterstock or any stock photo sites to where you just make art and post it there and people can use it and pay for it as they use it?
I hadn't.
A lot of people make a lot of money doing that if you do a lot of art and just look into stock photo sites, and then it's a good way to make money.
Most of what I've done so far has been custom. Like somebody comes to me and says, I have this dog, I want a picture of it. But I could definitely do stock portraits of cats and dogs and stuff like that anybody has. So yeah, thank you.
That's a great idea. So the other thing is like really focus on dogs that are very popular right now, like the Frenchie. Everybody's like going crazy about that, and create some like a line of product. And if you have a website, then people will just Google and find products with that portrait. They all pretty much look the same, right? Very similar. So I think a website will be really cool for her to create. And then when people are Googling portraits of that type of dog, they would find you and just buy either your mug or whatever product you have.
So what would like the ideal be? Like, let's say 5 years down the road, like you take whatever steps and like you're exactly where you want to be with this business. Then I guess like before giving any recommendations of like where exactly would you want it to be? Would you want to be like doing a bunch of portraits every day? Would you want it to be something where you have like more of a merchandise line that you're selling? Like what would be your ideal like end point in a few years?
Well, I want to still mix the digital branding as well as the portraits. So I'd like a decent, I know not everything's perfect, but I'd like a decent mix of the two, because I do really enjoy creating the logos and eventually seeing the branding out in real life. But I do want to start offering custom, like your pet on a mug or your pet on a shirt, stuff like that. I just don't have the ability or the space right now to start doing that. So I'm starting small with physical objects.
Okay. Yeah, then with the branding then it's going to be probably difficult to build a business on your own directly working with like businesses that are seeking branding. There's other elements to it that are like broader than just the logos, but if you could find someone to partner with, and there's like several people even in this building, in this area, that like I can put you in contact with to do design work for them. It's kind of like freelance design work. That might be an avenue that would make sense in terms of like low to zero overhead for you, because I don't think you want to expand massively. Like the end goal is to be home with your kids. So I think doing something like that might be a good avenue of make yourself available to branding agencies, where then you're not doing the marketing, you're not doing all the sales, they're getting clients, and they come to you and say, oh, we have like, we're working with a client, we need logos, like fantastic. And then it's just like continuous work coming in, it's more stable. So going that route might get you more to your end goal instead of the ongoing scramble of like, all right, like Facebook groups and Instagram and like trying to find people. So partnering with a branding agency might get you closer to where you want to be just in your life objectives. So yeah, I can pitch you some contacts that might help you out with that.
Yeah, thank you.
Have you, because you do graphic design and you're great with your pet drawings and things, have you ever thought about merging the two to have like a niche market of pet logo designs for different companies?
I don't have anyone here. I've done one single one so far for a small business that had a little chocolate lab that they wanted in their logo. So I definitely could, and I definitely would love that. I just don't know exactly where to look to find or to put myself out into that kind of market, because I'm not super knowledgeable on that kind of on the marketing side of things. I just draw and enjoy doing so. So
it could be just a way that you market yourself.
Yeah.
Like, this is the niche I have. I create pet logo designs.
Yeah.
In addition to what you do, because that's something that maybe not too many people do directly. You know. So in addition to all the great content everyone does have.
Thank you.
And I think the easiest way to do something like that, if you've never heard of a website called Fiverr or Upwork, if you just create profiles on there, then maybe you can get consistent business coming in through those websites as well, just extra income.
Awesome.
My friend is a pet portrait artist, but watercolor. And when she first started out, she found a lot of success, specifically doing like prints. Like I know you said you do have some prints of like generic orange tabby or stuff like that. And she would go to just local shops in the area that sell just anything from local vendors, like pantry goods and antiques and just random things. And she would just ask if she could just have a little area, a tiny area in the store. I feel like a lot of local shops are always looking for local vendors that they want to support, small businesses. and just physically walking in and saying, hey, I'd love to showcase my business and a few of my prints here. And any time that they are running low, they'll reach out to you and you just give them more and you just get a percentage of that. That might be a good idea.
I thought about going in person to stores.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You can create like a little basket with like a kit. Like let's say if you said you're doing some products, create a kit and say this is how much it is. This is how much you would sell for, and so it makes it really easy for them to just put it on top of a table, you know, with your products in there and your card. So it will be a good way to for exposure as well.
Yeah.
And one more thing, I think I heard you say something about putting pictures on mugs and T-shirts and other stuff. Have you ever heard of print on demand?
I think so.
Well, if you use a company called Printful, or there's a lot of companies out there, all you have to do is upload your designs to the website. You can put it on T-shirts, cell phone cases, coffee mugs, whatever you want to. Build a whole store with everything on there, and every time a customer orders, the company that you're working with, Printful, will print it and ship it to the customer. So all you have to do is make the designs. You'll have hundreds of products in your store. Whenever somebody orders it, you don't even have to ship it. They'll ship it for you, and then you get a cut. So that's the way to do it.
I think my husband was looking into doing calendars for photography. And he's like, I think I'm going to go through this route. But he had done more research than I had because I didn't know that that was a thing. So yeah. Thank you.
You know, there's a lot of great suggestions and a lot to remember, but this is on Facebook Live for you to come back and watch.
Yeah, I was about to say, I should have brought it.
I know, there's so many things. So you'll have all of that.
I'm curious, you talked about you were posting on TikTok, right? So you have short form video content. Are you posting it on Instagram Reels and or YouTube Shorts?
No, because I didn't know that. I didn't know YouTube Short was a thing.
Okay.
I'm not huge into all of the new things.
Yeah, sure.
But I just have been posting on TikTok. I think I have like 500 followers or something like that. And on TikTok, I go through just as I'm scrolling, and if I see someone who has lost a loved one or lost a pet or something like that, sometimes I will reach out if it's something that I have, you know, free time or whatever, and offer a portrait to them, and then usually they will post, tag me and stuff like that. So that's really as far as I've gotten when it comes to anything other than just posting in Facebook groups right
I
now.
gotcha. My only suggestion with that would just be it's 2 more clicks for a lot more exposure.
Yeah.
Especially if you're already making the content anyways. That style is very engaging. People stop even if it's the like you said it. What is the like kind of video that you it's like the drawing.
Yeah, it's a time-lapse drawing.
A time-lapse drawing, yeah. Like that just there is such a niche on those different channels for it that if you had those extra 2 pieces, just imagine it's like TikTok cubed. You have it on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. So, but just another suggestion if you've already got the videos. So.
Well, just to add to his point though, with the social media, they're like, you have the ability to be like a unique person that people are coming to for art, because like I own a record label, I work with artists all the time, and I've been an artist for 20 years, and the market has changed a great deal. Because if you're just going to look for something canned, there's a million free license things, as well as AI now, where I can just literally type in what I want and you can make it for me. So that engaged brand with like who you are and what you're doing and why, and like I have a child, I don't like him being on the internet, so I'm not necessarily saying that your children being a part of it that's obviously a social choice, but the social media allows people to get to know who you are and what you're doing. And so like the more, even just one little viral video with a couple 100,000 could get you enough to keep you busy for a year without having to think about like, how am I gonna expand and not in a bad way, but like cheapen my art to the point where I can like just send it off for 50 cents on a mug, because it means more to you than that. You want it to mean more to the people buying it, because that's what creates value in art, is who you are, the connection with the artist, and like what the artist means to the art, you know, rather than just I got a logo or I got a pet portrait or something like that. So I definitely think the social media thing is an ability to self-brand, and it's pretty easy to do from home, because you really only need like an hour a day to set just enough, because I mean you only need like a 30-second clip. Like you get that out of each day and create content. If your mindset is on that, by the time you know it, you've got like stacks of content, and you've got more than you even know what to do with, and then you can schedule it and set it up. But allowing people to see what you do on a regular basis so that they feel connected to you and part of your community. And then that's when the organic reaching out to like art, like I want you to make me something, becomes more than just I'm looking for the type of art that you're doing, you know, which makes it special to them and it adds value to your brand. So in my opinion.
Little and like kind of piggybacking off that even further is when you do post, I'm finding just like engagement wise and stuff that Brady and I post is that even posting a story of literally just taking the picture or a thumbnail or whatever it is and posting it to your story. I guess TikTok doesn't really have a story, but your Instagram story or Facebook stories, people feel like that's more of a I don't know how to like categorize it, but essentially it's more like somebody is on their phone more recently as a person rather than this just like feed post of it's just another piece of content kind of thing.
More relatable.
Exactly. It feels a little more personal to post on stories too. And again, that's just building your little ecosystem of they can click in a million different ways and still get engaged with your content somehow. So, or put some little like check this out and blow it up so they can't actually see what it is as little teaser things and whatnot. It just is part of the psych game of it. So.
I'm smiling because every time I come to one of these meetings, you say everything that I'm doing, and I'm like, oh, I'm not engaging. But I've learned so much from this group. I'm so happy to be here. But I was marketing my business on just Facebook. Don't laugh at me. Just Facebook, and wasn't getting a whole lot of, wasn't growing my customer base or the awareness of my nonprofit. Then I came in here and met these young, hip, cool people who were like, Facebook. And I was like, okay. So now I'm doing Instagram as well. And then as a nonprofit, I learned that if you want businesses to invest in you, the first thing they do is look at you on LinkedIn. So I've had to learn LinkedIn. I'm kind of mad at all you people because it's very, very time consuming. But even now that I'm on like Facebook, and Instagram and LinkedIn, and I'm trying, and I've done videos, yay. And I haven't tried the story thing, so my stuff looks like content instead of being on there as a person. But where I've gotten a lot of good feedback and grown some customers is through our newsletter. And so the whole time you were talking, you said at the beginning of your presentation, I've put my business cards in vet offices. You know, it might be more impactful if you could go into a vet office and say, hey, can I decorate one of your walls with a bunch of my portraits? And put price tags on them so people can take them right off the wall if they want to. But then if you want custom stuff, there's your card, so they get to see your work. And then I was kind of thinking, if you do not have a, what am I trying to say, a newsletter, if you don't have that, help me, what do you send a newsletter to? A group of people? Database, constant contact, that sort of thing. I lose my words.
CRM, or
thank you, sir. I think together we might make a whole person. That's the thing. I'm like, what am I going for? But if you don't have that, shelters do. Shelters do, vet offices do. So how can you be a footer in their email that goes out to people? You know, you would reach a whole lot of people. It might cost money to make money. You might have to say, hey, I'll give you $100 donation if at the bottom I can have one of my portraits, and would you like your pet as a portrait? Or every time you adopt, you get $50 or $25 off a custom portrait. That might be cool. Old people, we're using newsletters. I don't know what TikTok or YouTube or whatever shorts are.
You write letters.
Yeah, I write letters. Thank you.
Because people are going to want to look at your prices and going to want to get in contact with you. I think that's just a landing page of just having your stuff on there to buy prints just quickly, but also to order a custom portrait. I think that should be, and there's a lot of platforms, Shopify, Wix, Squarespace, just to get started, you know? So I think you should definitely do that. Do you mind sharing how much your prints are and things like that?
Yeah, so my prints, if they're unframed, I sell for 15. Because my actual portraits that are custom, I only sell for 25. Because it takes me, I think it takes me maybe 45 minutes to do. And I grew up not being able to afford the things that I wanted, so I am trying to keep my prices lower because I know that there are people who really love their pets, but they can't really afford $50. So that's what my normal pet portraits start at, and then they go up by $5 every pet that's added. And my family portraits start at the same price for 3 people and then go up every $5 for every person added. Logos, any logos that I do start at 50, and then as time goes on, more and more is added on, depending on how long it takes and how many revisions the person wants, which usually is. Yeah.
Prices are very, extremely low.
Yeah.
Very, yeah.
Your original portraits have to start way above
Yeah, you gotta
that.
be way higher than that.
You're an artist, you have to value
It's
that.
your work.
And then rents can be whatever cost plus, but your original work has to be priced for artwork.
Yeah.
Yes, way too
I didn't know exactly what to price it at, so I was just like, $25 sounds good. And then I wasn't getting, it seemed like there was interest, but not a ton of interest. So I was like, well, maybe that's just the price it needs to be. If I raise it, nobody's gonna want to order.
If you
So.
price it higher, people are gonna value it.
Mhm.
Jay is watching on Facebook Live, and in all caps, she just said, "Raise your prices."
This is actually the decade of the pet. I mean, everybody, they love their pets.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, they're spending mega bucks for the for the critter. It doesn't matter what it is.
Yeah.
So a lot of people are willing to pay minimum 10 times as much as you're already asking.
Yeah.
Without blinking an eye. So going with what they're saying, you may may need to expand your marketing of it, but your niche is there.
Yeah.
All you got to do is get it out there and holler out to the population.
I think my problem was because everything was digital, it felt like I was charging too much, or if I charged too much, that it wouldn't seem worth it to the buyer. So that's. But this is also the first business that I've ever ran. Before I met my mother-in-law, I didn't think that I'd ever opened. I thought I would work at Dollar General or something. So I'm still learning. I'm very, very new to everything, even though it's been 3 years. So it's definitely been a learning experience, and I will look into raising my prices.
My friend that I mentioned earlier who does watercolor, she started at those same prices.
Mhm.
Absolutely, because she didn't know. She was in college. She just didn't know what the market would do. But to give you an idea, her smallest, 6x6, and granted it does take her a little bit longer because it's drawing and painting, but her smallest 6x6 is $145. And it's high demand for that because people care so much about, and that's custom, right? So as it goes to a bigger with more pets, you're looking at $300 plus. And people are spending that money because they, right?
Yeah.
I think we're spending $30 in the bone for their dogs.
Yes.
It costs me $100 to put gas in my car. So
I think compared to other things.
Yeah.
How much coffee costs.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
you just
One of the things that I would do too, I would hit up all of the veterinarian clinics and within a driving distance. I just Google map them and just bring a free mug or whatever it is that you want, and then have a code where their clients, if they want a mug, they can use this code and get a 20% off. That's just something that you could do on the side,
Another area that she has found a lot of success in, and people are spending a lot of money, way too much money, is weddings. Specifically, what's been a new trend is the bar signs, the cocktails, in which she's gotten a lot of business is the signature his and her cocktail with the pets. So the people will have his cocktail, but it'll be Moose's old fashioned and their cat's name with the margarita, and that has been massive. So I think that would be super great for you to just draw the, have you seen those?
I don't think so.
Okay, I'll show you, but they're really popular right now with, I mean, every wedding I've been to in the last 2 years has had them with their pet on there. That would be a really cool offering for you to do as well.
To do the glass.
No, to like do the framed, like, it's like a framed bar sign that has just the menu of the drink choices with the pet on it and the drawing of the drink too. Yeah, that'd be a cool idea.
I just wanted to say too, going back to your pricing, when you think about it, there is a value to what you're doing, but there's also cost to what you're doing.
Yeah.
So you want to make sure that you're pricing in a way that you're covering your expenses and then giving yourself some revenue on top of that. So if you want to do markets or fairs or things like that, there's usually a booth cost.
Yeah.
So if your price is too low, you're not going to sell enough to overcome the cost that you have to even market your product.
Yeah.
So you want to think about that too. Like, what is my paint costing me? What are these other marketing avenues going to cost me? I might have to pay $100 or $200 to be at this booth for 4 hours. So what do I need to price and how many units I need to sell to make up? You know, so you have to kind of think about it from that standpoint too.
You made a comment that you felt that you didn't want to overprice people because you're doing it digital. I can't draw a straight line digital. So you've met a market that others have not been able to reach. I could not do it. So with that said, if I had a pet and I wanted something like that, I would come to you because I would shred out my computer trying to figure it out. So I would put that to you, and it's going to cost you to do that. The time, driving here to even do this presentation, all these things are monies that's coming out of your pocket. You need to recoup some kind of way in your business. So don't sell yourself short because you're doing this and you think you're selling people. You're doing something that others can't. No, ma'am, you cannot. You are not. I can't do it. I'm not sure anybody else can as well. So you have a market that's got a niche. There's a lot of people out there who want this.
I still think, like, going back to my earlier question where, I guess, an idea of, like, Garrett and I run a company together, and Garrett does a lot of the social media stuff. I personally, if I didn't have to touch social media, I wouldn't. I don't know where you fall on that. Like,
I have a friend who, she lives in Canada, and she schedules the posts for me on Facebook because I'm kind of the same way. Other than like doing scrolling through TikTok, I don't really do much with social media on my own. But she, I guess you would call her my social media manager. She posts everything. She's been, I think she just hasn't been posting reels and stuff because I haven't mentioned that I wanted them, but I didn't know that they were a thing. So.
yeah, but I would still suggest then, I'll be kind of the resident old soul in a young body then, I don't think you need to go the social media route. It is an option. If you want to do it, all this advice here will get you there, but I don't know that that's really the route for you because it's going to have you like running around a lot, like scheduling posts, like spending a lot of your time, like content, which can be good and it can get you like relatively high volume, but I really just like re-emphasizing what I said earlier of like, when I asked you like, what would you ideally be doing? It wasn't, oh, portraits for pets, 100%,
Yeah.
what I want to do. What I heard from you is, I want to do logos.
Yeah.
Like, that's what it sounded like. And so, even if you are doing like pet portraits for, I don't know, 150, something like that, then you can either put in all of the work and be like scrambling to find those and like trying to like run your social medias and get people in, and it can be a slow build, which like you have kids right now, like it's not a like we have more time to build things, we don't have like that responsibility. So again, going to like branding agencies, the companies that are already doing this type of work and offering it to them, I think you would be so much happier doing like $400, $500 brand packages for these companies a month than you would running all the social medias, trying to like do all these things that would work. Like they would work fine. I'm not denying anything that anyone has said. You could run a company like that, but you have to keep in mind like it's a one-person show right now, and if that's not your personality, if that's not what you want to do, like don't just go somewhere that's like is what everyone else is doing. Like you may be better off like partnering with branding agencies, stuff like that, or just people that need logos and going that route, even like freelancing it. I think that'll get you much closer from a just personal life perspective, what you're trying to do. I think that route, maybe focus there, then social media a little bit like on the side and like implement some of this stuff. Of like, yeah, increase your prices 100%. Maybe have like a shop where you can buy different items and like just kind of post stuff as you would like to, but instead of investing all your time there, like kind of hunt the whales instead of like a few or a bunch of smaller fish. Would be, I think you'll be happier there just based on what I feel your personality is, what it seems like you want to do, your life situation. So either way has absolute potential to work. But just since a lot of the advice has been this side, I just wanted to say that there is another way to do it that I kind of do within the company, and Garrett runs the other way. They both work, so don't write off one and like think you have to go one or the other.
Kay is watching on Facebook Live as well, and she said, I understand you want people like you as young adults to have the opportunity to purchase the art. It's a different market. You can have giveaways, drawing, and contests with specific requirements to be able to give those, that market people the opportunity to get your drawing. So giveaways is a great idea that I don't think anybody else has mentioned. It's a great way to get exposure, like partnering with another brand or small local vendor to get more followers, get people to just know about you, and then give away a print or something. I think that would be a great idea.
Business cards? Yes, I sent them over there. But yes, I plan to hand them out once.
I hope they reflect what you're just telling us.
Yes, they've got all my information on the back of them, so that way.
You sit in an interesting place because you're on the fence of the business world and the art world.
Yeah.
And I've done both. Art really doesn't really apply to anything anyone said here. It's such a weird place. Social media doesn't really matter. It's all about who knows what your name is. Like when it comes to high-end art, like I know some artists that sell their stuff for crazy amounts of money. You don't know who they are, but the artist world does. Like obviously you're trying to do something a little more corporate, like than the abstract art world or something like that. But the value is kind of set to you as a person and the scarcity of the original artwork. Like, and then also just like you getting the footwork, because there is an element of like, I had this conversation with my buddy who actually brought me in here the first time. There's a value of life to like enjoying what you do. And as an artist, like there is an expression of like soul and like personality and all of those things. And like, be sure not to like wring it dry for the for commodity, like for like the act of like getting duplication, because if you hold that value, other people will see that, and it'll set your brand apart from being something that I can literally just go on Google and find 500 other sites. And I think he had a valid point about if you're just trying to get TikTok famous and get clicks, clicks are great, but they can be fad-based and they're not as loyal as like a real artist who likes what you do and wants your $500 painting on their wall. So I'd say definitely hit the streets more. Like I do a lot of events. Like I don't really throw art shows as much anymore. It's mostly music stuff. But the vendor stuff is not super expensive. Most of the time it's around $100 to go and just like spend the whole day. Like make sure your booth is like visibly interesting to where people want to stop. And then I found that the best way I ever sold art, the most art I ever sold for the most amount of money was art I did in front of people, performance art. So I don't know what your process is, but if you're able to set up an easel or something in the booth and create a piece that they can see as they walk by, oh man, that wasn't done an hour ago, that piece is going to be worth double everything else in the booth because they were there when it was finished. Like I sold literally like a $5 canvas and some cheap paint for like $300-400 because I painted it on stage, like rather than at my house. Like, so there's like art has like these really interesting avenues that aren't necessarily like stapled to the commercial like revenue thing, because, and so I guess that's like, as an artist, like how you want to represent yourself. If you want to be the duplicate Shopify, like you can buy my mug on wherever, and that kind of stuff is great later on when people want prints and duplications of your original art. But I think that for what you're doing, because there's a personal message to all of it, like that person to person, like someone can look in your eyes and say, oh, this person cares that I lost my pet and wants to paint something. And like the more shows and pop-ups and all those little things that you do, just make it visually interesting. You don't have to be like a crazy salesperson, like just be there, be active, and like let people kind of be involved. I think that's really all the social media thing is letting people see your process and like you doing it, like and them being a part of that process. That's the, like, these days especially, it's like a really valuable part of art is that you can be a part of the process and people will pay for it.
Is there like a site or something that I don't know about that lists all of the markets in the area?
There are. There's a few Facebook markets, and I'll get your information at the end, and I'll send you some links. But yeah, I mean, I'm tapped into like 5 or 6 like major markets in the Atlanta area. We do some in Avondale Estates, Decatur. I just did one at Little 5 Points like 2 weeks ago. We do vendors and that kind of stuff. And for most of the time, if like it's seasonal, but it's season right now, and like just even if you just have like 20, 30 pieces of art, even just prints, pictures or something, a little tent and a table, and that's that and $100, and I think that I could definitely get you linked in with the whole like group, and it's usually pretty easy. And honestly, like as someone who does it, they're always looking for vendors. Like I want my list to be full because that's how that's how you make the event work, and so they're always looking for people. It's not like you have to like really submit. It's basically just sign up and go, pay your $100 and show up. And as you do that, you'll get better at it. Like, I mean, I feel like I've got the booth pretty locked in, but like you'll figure that out, like, digital artwork and that sort of thing to draw attention. But just being like like the footwork, the foot traffic, being in front of people, because there is personal message to what you're doing. Like some businesses should just be like run through the machine and like duplicate it and it fits to this model. The art is just so different than that, I guess. So all I'm saying is like find out who takes value in your art and hold and establish that value. And like don't let the people who want to pay $15 like devalue what it is that you do, because you are spending your time. And like I know me, every hour I spend away from my son is like an hour that somebody is paying for, because like it's got to be worth something because you're away from your kids. So I don't know. That's just all to me is like everybody, not everybody here. I don't know everybody's background here, but it seems like a lot of great business advice. Art is a little different and it's a little weird, but it is finding your community more than it is finding your brand or your like social voice, as a lot of times.
Yeah, so going on that, there is a nonprofit in Fayetteville called FACE, FAACE, which is Fine Arts and Crafts for this county, right? Not only are you going to be involved in the community of artists that are business owners as well, but there's a lot of opportunities for mentorship. They will help you, like there is the Magnolia Festival in Peachtree City is run by FACE. I don't know if they're already fully booked, it's in October, but let's say you want to have a booth, they will even help you create the space that is really inviting, if you haven't done it before. So I will definitely go on the website. You can become a member for like $70 a year, and then you can be part of all the events, everything that they create. And there's a lot of people that have been in business for many years that can just give you a lot of advice as well, as artists in business.
I actually happen to have a flyer for FACE.
Oh, you have that? Yeah.
So I'll give that to you.
Where are you located?
I live in Hampton over by Atlanta Motor Speedway. But I work in Fayetteville at my mother-in-law's private school.
Thank you.
You should consider a night market.
Night market.
When's the next night market and how much is a booth there?
September 8th. I think this night market is booked, but there's another one in October 13th, and what's the vendor fee? 100. Yeah.
That's actually my daughter's birthday.
Oh really? October 13th?
Yeah, that's my first birthday.
Yeah, but next year, I mean, there's at least 4 events throughout the year, per year, so always taking applications. And I think that would be great place for you.
Yeah, that's actually, Rainey suggested the night market, but unfortunately at that time, I think the one that's scheduled for this coming month, went over something else that I already had planned, so I couldn't apply this month,
Yeah.
but I'll definitely look into that, because she's like, you need to do it. She's like, I'll come with you and we won't roast.
Yeah.
Because we were sitting out in like 100-degree heat.
Yeah.
The first one, and it was not a good experience.
Yeah, we try to avoid summer,
Yeah.
or they try to avoid summers now, I feel like, for that reason.
Yeah.
That's a great suggestion.
I think another one we have coming up is the Startup Fayette Pitch Contest. Like, you do good in that. The Startup Fayette Pitch Contest.
That's a great idea.
Yeah, where the prizes are a website. If you win either first, second, or third place, it's going to be happening November 28th. We haven't opened applications yet, but it's perfect for someone like you because we want the beginning, starting businesses to come and apply and pitch your business. And
You will do something very similar than what you did today.
Yes.
Yeah, it wasn't as fun as I thought.
No, yeah. That's a great idea, Casey. That's a perfect opportunity. There's prizes for first, second, and third place, and third place prizes are like still so amazing.
Really nice.
Like website, there's so many businesses that are giving parts, giving away things. That like last year's was professional photography, there's business coaching, website design, like so many things. So I think it'd be a phenomenal opportunity for not only to get more exposure and practice your like pitch, but also there's a really good chance that you could get some really good stuff from it.
For free.
For free.
Where do we get more information about that event?
I haven't opened it yet.
Yeah,
We're going to.
But
This group is probably gonna get a lot of like information about how to.
yes, yeah,
Okay.
yes. When applications open,
He wants to September 1st, honestly. Like, that's our goal. So Friday, hopefully open up that link and then start.
but when's the date of it?
Oh, November 28th. The
November
last
28th.
November. I mean, last Tuesday, in November.
Yeah.
I'll be the last November. The last November. Just like me. That's right. I'll keep running until it comes out.
Awesome. Well, it is just at the top of the hour, so we'll
This is really good.
let everybody get on with their scheduled day. But thank you so much again, Michaela. That was really, really great. And thank you, everyone, for tuning in on Facebook Live.
So